Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into the world of data analytics in digital marketing.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, it's one of those topics that can feel a little like walking into a jungle.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Right. It's like, where do you even start? But don't worry, by the end of this deep dive, you'll feel much more confident about using data to really boost your marketing.
I like that. Boost your marketing.
Yeah. And what's really cool is that our source material for this deep dive is actually a podcast script about, well, data analytics and digital marketing.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at how this information is packaged and presented?
Exactly. We're going behind the curtain, kind of like peeking into the chef's kitchen to see how a delicious marketing meal is prepped and served up.
I love that analogy.
Right. So let's jump right in. First things first, what exactly is data analytics in digital marketing?
You know, it's funny because a lot of people think it's just about like collecting mountains of data and then, I don't know, drowning in spreadsheets.
Yeah, I've been there.
But really, it's about using data to make smarter marketing decisions. It's about gathering all those digital clues from your website, your social media, your emails, everything, and then turning them into insights that can guide your strategy.
So it's not just about hoarding data, it's about putting it to work.
Exactly. And in today's world, it's super competitive out there. Businesses that know how to use data, they really have the edge.
That makes sense. The source script actually highlights some amazing benefits of using data analytics.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like unlocking a treasure chest of marketing advantages.
Okay, so let's dive into those. One of the big ones is understanding your audience.
Oh, that's huge. Imagine knowing what your customers want before they even tell you. That's the power of data. It helps you really understand their behavior, their preferences, what makes them tick.
So you can create marketing that really resonates with them.
Exactly. It's like speaking their language.
I like that. Okay, another big benefit is boosting ROI. And I think that's something we all care about, right? Making sure our marketing budget is actually working for us.
Absolutely. Data analytics takes the guesswork out of marketing. You can actually see which campaigns are performing well, which ones aren't, and then you can adjust your spending accordingly.
So you're not just throwing money into a black hole.
Right. You're making data-driven decisions to maximize your return on investment.
That's smart marketing. Okay, and then there's targeted messaging. So it's not just about reaching everyone. It's about reaching the right people with the right message at the right time.
Yeah. You can segment your audience based on all sorts of data points like their demographics, their interests, their past behavior, and then tailor your messages to be super relevant to each group.
So your marketing is more effective and less annoying for everyone involved.
Win-win. And then finally, there's this idea of continuous improvement. I love that.
Me too. It sounds like a constant evolution.
It is. Data analytics isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process of measuring, analyzing, and refining your strategies.
So you're always learning, always adapting, and always getting better.
Precisely. And that's how you stay ahead of the curve.
I'm already feeling inspired. But I gotta be honest, thinking about all the data out there, it can feel a little overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, where do you even start? There's just so much data flying around.
Right. It's like drinking from a fire hose. The source script talks about 5 key types of data to focus on.
Oh, okay. That's helpful. So it's about narrowing it down.
Yeah, let's break those down. First up, website data. So how people are interacting with your website.
Right. Like how many people are visiting, how long they're staying, which pages they're looking at, all that good stuff.
So for example, if you see a high bounce rate on a particular page, that might be a sign that something's not working right.
Yeah, it could mean people aren't finding what they're looking for, or maybe the page is just not engaging enough. Data helps you figure that out.
Okay, what about social media data? I feel like every platform has its own set of metrics, and it's hard to keep up.
Oh, it's true. It's a jungle out there. But the key is to focus on the metrics that actually matter to your business. Likes and shares are great, but are they actually driving any real results?
Right, that's what I struggle with.
Data can help you connect the dots between your social media efforts and your business goals.
Okay, that makes sense. What about email marketing data? What insights can we glean from that?
Well, think about things like open rates, click-through rates, unsubscribe rates. These metrics tell you a story about how well your emails are resonating with your audience.
So, for example, a low open rate might mean your subject line isn't enticing enough.
Could be. Or maybe your sending time is off. Data can help you test different variables and optimize your campaigns.
Okay, next up, customer data. This one sounds particularly interesting.
It is. Customer data is like gold. It
Mm.
gives you a deep understanding of who your customers are, what they buy, what they like, what they don't like. You can use this data to personalize your marketing and create really targeted campaigns.
So it's about treating each customer as an individual.
Exactly. And finally, we have advertising data. This is essential if you're running any kind of paid advertising campaigns.
Ah, yes. I've dipped my toes into the world of paid ads, and it can feel like a bit of a gamble.
Oh, I hear you. But with advertising data, you can track everything. You can see which ads are performing well, which ones are flopping, and you can adjust your bids and targeting to get the most bang for your buck.
So data turns advertising from a guessing game into a strategic investment.
Exactly. But okay, even with these 5 types of data, how do we actually manage all this information? How do we collect it, analyze it, make sense of it all?
That's the million-dollar question. It can feel overwhelming.
Totally. But don't worry, there are tools and processes that can make it much more manageable.
Okay, that sounds promising. Let's talk about those tools and processes next time.
Sounds good.
Tools and processes, huh? That sounds like the key to unlocking this whole data analytics thing.
It really is. And luckily, we have some amazing tools at our disposal.
Okay, so let's start with those tools. The source script mentions a few big names in the data analytics world.
Oh yeah, there are some real heavy hitters out there.
Yeah.
The first one that comes to mind is Google Analytics. It's kind of like the granddaddy of website analytics.
I've heard of it, of course, but I've always been a little intimidated by it. Is it really worth the effort to learn?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Think of it like this. Once you understand Google Analytics, it's like having this incredible X-ray vision into how people are interacting with your website.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. I'm intrigued. What about social media? Are there any tools that can help us make sense of all that data?
Well, most of the social media platforms have their own built-in analytics dashboards, which is really helpful.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those. Facebook has insights, Twitter has analytics, LinkedIn has its own thing too.
Right. And those are great for getting a basic understanding of how your content is performing.
But how do you know which metrics to focus on? I mean, there are so many.
You're right. It can be overwhelming. I always tell people to start by thinking about their goals. What are you actually trying to achieve with social media?
Increase brand awareness, drive traffic to my website, generate leads, something like that.
Exactly. Once you know your goals, then you can choose the metrics that align with those goals.
Okay, so it's not just about chasing vanity metrics like likes and followers.
Right. Those can be fun to look at, but they don't always tell the whole story.
That's true. Okay, what about email marketing? Any tools to help us with that?
Tons.
Yeah.
Most email marketing platforms like MailChimp, Constant Contact, they all have pretty robust analytics dashboards.
Okay, cool. So you can track things like open rates, click-through rates.
Exactly. You can even see which links in your emails are getting the most clicks. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, that would be interesting to know what people are actually responding to.
For sure. Data can reveal so much about your audience.
Okay, so we've talked about tools for website data, social media data, email data. But what about when we want to bring all that data together and really analyze it?
Ah, yeah, that's where things can get really interesting. There are some powerful tools out there for data visualization and analysis. Tools like Google Data Studio, Tableau, Power BI.
Those names sound familiar, but I have to admit they also sound a little intimidating.
I get that. They're definitely more advanced tools, but they can be incredibly helpful for turning raw data into actionable insights.
So they're like the next level of data analytics.
You could say that. They help you create these really cool dashboards and reports that make it easier to see patterns and trends in your data.
So instead of just staring at a spreadsheet full of numbers, you can actually visualize the data in a way that makes sense.
Exactly. It's like turning data into a story.
I like that. Okay, so we've covered the tools, but what about the process? How do we actually approach data collection and analysis in a way that's, manageable and actually helps us achieve our marketing goals?
That's a great question. And it's where having a clear framework is super important.
Okay, a framework, so like a roadmap for data analytics.
Yeah, exactly. And the first step on that roadmap is defining your goals. What are you trying to achieve with your marketing?
So before you even start collecting data, you need to know what you're hoping to learn from it.
Right. Because the data you collect and the way you analyze it will depend on what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay, that makes sense. What's the next step?
Once you know your goals, you need to identify the key performance indicators, or KPIs, that will measure your progress toward those goals.
KPIs. So those are the specific metrics that matter most.
Yes. For example, if your goal is to increase website traffic, then some relevant KPIs might be website visits, unique visitors, bounce rate, things like that.
Ah, okay, I see. So you're choosing the metrics that will actually tell you if you're moving in the right direction.
Exactly. The next step is to set up a system for regular reporting. This could be weekly, monthly, or quarterly, depending on your needs.
So basically, you're checking in with your data on a regular basis to see how things are going.
Precisely. Consistent reporting helps you track your progress, identify trends, and spot any red flags early on.
And then most importantly, you use that data to make decisions, right?
Absolutely. I mean, data is only valuable if you actually use it to inform your strategy. So you look at the reports, you analyze the trends, and then you make adjustments to your campaigns as needed.
So it's an ongoing process of learning and adapting.
It is. And that's what makes data analytics so powerful. You're constantly optimizing your marketing based on real-time insights.
This is all starting to click for me, but I think what would really help solidify this is seeing some real-world examples of how data has been used to create successful marketing campaigns.
Oh yeah, examples always make things more concrete. And the source script actually has some really great ones.
Okay, perfect. Let's dive into those examples next time.
Sounds good to me.
So real-world examples, huh? I think that's what really brings data analytics to life.
Yeah, for sure. It's one thing to talk about the theory, but it's another to see how data is actually being used to make a difference.
Absolutely. The source script mentions a few success stories, and one that really stood out to me was this example of A/B testing for email campaigns.
Oh yeah, that's a classic. It's like a marketing experiment.
So this company was struggling to get people to open their emails, right? Their open rates were pretty low.
Yeah, they were hovering around 15%, which is way below the industry average. And they were like, okay, something's got to change.
So what did they do?
Well, they decided to run an A/B test on their subject lines. They created two different versions of their email, one with their usual subject line, and then another one with a more personalized, attention-grabbing subject line.
So they were basically testing which subject line would perform better.
Exactly. They sent each version to a small segment of their audience and then tracked the open rates.
Okay, and what happened?
The results were pretty amazing. The email with the personalized subject line had a 30% open rate, which is double the original.
Wow, that's a huge improvement, just from changing the subject
I
line.
know, right? It just goes to show that even small tweaks can make a big difference.
Data gives you that power of precision.
It does. Okay, so another example is website optimization.
Hmm?
This company that sells handmade jewelry, they were noticing a really high bounce rate on their product pages.
Oh, a high bounce rate. That's never a good sign.
Nope. It means people are coming to the page and then leaving without really engaging. So they started digging into their website analytics to try to figure out what was going on. Well, it turns out their product images were loading super slowly.
Ah, I hate when that happens.
Me too. And apparently, a lot of their customers felt the same way because they were bouncing off the page before the images even had a chance to load.
So they were losing potential customers because of slow loading images.
Yep. But once they optimized their images and improved the page load speed, their bounce rate went way down and their sales went up.
It's amazing how data can reveal those hidden issues that you might not even be aware of.
It's true. Data is like having a detective on your marketing team, always looking for clues to improve your performance.
Okay, I like that. What about some examples from the world of social media?
All right, let's say you're a food blogger who's trying to grow your Instagram following. You're posting these beautiful photos of your dishes, but you're not seeing much growth.
Okay, I can relate to that. I've been there.
So you dig into your Instagram Insights data, and you discover that your posts actually perform best when you include videos of you making the dish.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just about the final product, it's about the process.
Exactly. People love to see behind-the-scenes content. They want to see how the magic happens.
So you start incorporating more videos into your content strategy, and boom, your engagement and follower growth skyrocket.
Right. So data is giving you the secret recipe for social media success.
I love these examples. They really show the power of data analytics. But I think for a lot of marketers out there, it can still feel a little intimidating.
Oh, yeah, I totally get that. It can seem like this whole technical, complicated thing.
Right, like you need to be a data scientist or something.
But honestly, you don't.
Yeah.
The source script actually gives some great advice for marketers who are just getting started with data analytics.
Okay, what's the secret?
The first tip is to start small. You don't need to try to track everything all at once.
So don't try to boil the ocean.
Exactly. Choose one or two areas where you think data can make a real impact and start there.
So maybe focus on improving your email open rates or understanding which social media platform is driving the most traffic to your website.
Yeah, those are great starting points. Once you've mastered those areas, then you can gradually expand your efforts.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
Another important tip is to invest wisely. This could mean investing in a paid analytics platform if the free tools aren't cutting it anymore.
Or maybe it means investing in your own education, like taking a course on data analytics.
Exactly. The point is to be strategic about where you put your resources.
Okay, I like that. Invest wisely. What else should we keep in mind?
One of the most important things to remember is to balance data with intuition.
So don't let the numbers completely take over.
Right. Data is a powerful tool, but it shouldn't dictate every single decision you make. You still need to use your judgment and your creativity.
It's about finding that sweet spot between data-driven insights and your own marketing instincts.
Exactly. And the final piece of advice is to remember that data analytics is an ongoing process.
It's not a one-time thing.
Nope. The digital marketing landscape is constantly changing, so you need to be constantly monitoring your data and adjusting your strategy.
So it's all about continuous improvement.
Exactly. And the beauty of data analytics is that it gives you the flexibility to adapt and optimize your campaigns in real time.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. I think the key takeaway here is that data analytics isn't just for tech wizards or big corporations. It's for every marketer who wants to level up their game.
I completely agree. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and using data to make smarter marketing decisions.
And remember, the most important data points are the ones that align with your unique business goals.
So true. Don't get caught up in chasing vanity metrics that don't actually move the needle for your business.
To all the marketers out there who are ready to dive into the data and unlock those valuable insights, what are you waiting for?
Start exploring those tools, start experimenting, and most importantly, start using data to make your marketing even more awesome.
That's a great way to put it. Thanks for joining us on this data-driven adventure. Until next time, keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep those marketing insights flowing.